With every passing day, we continue to learn more about Helldivers 2. More specifically, learn about the game's upcoming content and just what the developers are capable of with the game's story, even right now at this very moment. Data miners have been hard at work taking a good, long, hard look at the content pipeline for Helldivers 2 and what's coming our way. And I have to say, folks, it's all incredibly exciting stuff that all points towards Helldivers having an incredibly enjoyable future for us as gamers. And as I'm writing this video right now, it's even getting to the point where Helldivers are confirming the site of these leaks making their way to the game as we speak. We quite frankly, folks, have a lot to talk about, so let's run it all down. G'day there once again, viewers, your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today we're going to be giving you guys an update on all the major news and leaks we've got surrounding Helldivers 2 right now. So let's kick off with probably the biggest talking point that we've heard on the grapevine so far. The new stratagems that are coming to the game, more specifically, the mech suits. We always knew that mechs were on their way to Helldivers 2, given their presence in the game's trailers before the launch. But I also didn't expect to be hearing so much about them this soon after the launch of the game. Not that I'm complaining, just to be clear, I'm just genuinely surprised. Anyways, the excitement around these mech suits really picked up a gear when this leaked gameplay courtesy of Fozzie18 hit the Helldivers 2 subreddit. We can see the Helldiver get in and out of the mech at will, while also using two separate weapons as a primary and secondary option, if you will. Now, noting that, I am hoping that we're going to be able to see different variations of the mech suits available to us, you know, featuring different weapon combinations, maybe even going as far as to having separate abilities and augmentations to the mech suits to boot as well. So there's maybe even a chance that we as Helldivers are going to need to coordinate our loadouts on our mech suits as well for that perfect squad synergy, if you will. If I'm being completely honest and can let my imagination run wild for a second here, I'm even hoping there's an opportunity for us to directly customize these mechs, you know, when it comes to weapons, augmentations, even cosmetics of the sorts. That would be fucking awesome. But regardless of how customizable these things actually are, I've got a feeling that I'm going to be maniacally laughing the whole time while I'm putting these new toys to use. But the mech suits are not the only quote-unquote new toy that we are going to be spreading managed democracy with here. Shit, they aren't even the only vehicles that we're getting here in this so-called update, allegedly. According to additional leaks, we are apparently going to be getting a light reconnaissance buggy that seems to have a passing resemblance to that of a Halo Warthog, and an armored APC, or armored personnel carrier. I came across this clip on Twitter of the new APC in action, which appears to have a dedicated driver, along with two top-mounted heavy machine guns, which looks like now, as a result, that we ain't gonna need to run long distance between objectives anymore, which, I've got to say, as someone who in real life is built for comfort and not for speed, I'm very happy about that. So yeah, the Helldivers community is eating pretty good already as it is. But for those of you who prefer a more traditional and non-mechanized way of spreading managed democracy across the galaxy, you guys are going to be covered there as well, because there's a lot more coming in the near future as well, according to these leaks. There are additional unreleased stratagems that have been found in the game's files that read as such: displacement backpack, medic backpack, mini missiles, and nuke, which I think speaks for itself in a lot of ways. We've even seen clips out there of a new stratagem that allows us to call in a squad of AI Super Earth soldiers to assist on the battlefront for a brief moment. And what excites me about all this, folks, is that it almost feels as though, like, the sense of scale in these battles that we're participating in Helldivers 2 is going to grow substantially. It's not going to feel like a squad of 4 Helldivers just rolling around on a planet with some air support. It's going to feel much more like a large-scale combined arms war on both the land and air front to crush the foes of Super Earth. The sense of scale, and dare I say epicness, of the moment-to-moment gameplay of Helldivers, I feel like may just intensify a little bit here, which I didn't think was possible with this game, but here we are. We've also got new weapons coming, and while the list of leaked weapons is quite extensive and includes things such as plasma rifle, battle rifle, plasma pistol, laser pistol, heavy machine gun, so on and so forth, we've only seen in-game screenshots of the ARC-12 Blitzer, the SG-8P Punisher Plasma, and the CB-9 Exploding Crossbow. As a quick quick rundown on these confirmed weapons so far. The Arc 12 Blitzer is going to be a lightning-based shotgun that will blast wide bursts of electricity that will arc between all units, enemy or otherwise, within range. The SG-8P Punisher is going to be a shotgun that will fire exploding plasma rounds, so firing these bad boys willy-nilly is going to quickly injure teammates as well. And the CB9 crossbow will fire exploding bolts that will do maximum damage upon direct impact, with a high skill curve to master the weapon, however, due to gravity being the fickle bitch that she is. So obviously new weapons are well and good, but it also sounds like our current arsenal, the one that we've got now, is going to be, let's say, expanding in functionality as well, because in the leaked files for the game, there's also hints to weapon attachment slots that are currently not available as well. And these make references to optics slots, barrel slots, magazine slots, ammo slots where you can change out specialty ammunitions available to your weapon. And of course, things like paint schemes and being able to customize your weapons visually. So it sounds like we're going to be able to start adding a little bit more customization and utility to our weapons to make them a bit more fitting to the playstyle that we want to sort of craft them into, which is going to be pretty cool to see as well. Overall, it appears as though there is a long list and a wealth of content coming to Helldivers 2 that we're going to be able to put to use in the game very, very soon. I mean, hell, some of these are going to be absolutely game-changing additions that will change the flow of how Helldivers approach missions for the long run forever. But with all this new firepower coming to the game, will the threats that we face also grow exponentially and become harder to defeat? Well, I personally think so, and like any good Helldiver, I'm ready for the challenge. As we mentioned in our last video, the Illuminate faction were very much speculated by the community as making their way to the Galactic War sooner rather than later, and further data mining into the game's files has found references to a bunch of enemy types that sit under the Illuminate's banner, including the likes of the Adept, Ghoul, Illusionist, Obelisk Fire, Outcast, Pathfinder, and Summoner. Obviously, what these enemies will actually do and how they'll play and how we'll have to defeat them is completely up in the air. We have seen very little from the leaks around the gameplay that the Illuminate will bring to the game, and that's kind of exciting too, because I'm hoping that these guys just bust into the Galactic War at a moment's notice, leaving us with one hell of a surprise to try and work out. But in addition to all that, there are also rumors that the Terminid and the Automatons are seeking to expand their arsenals with new soldiers that employ, let's say, a more vertical approach to the battlefield. Allegedly, flying units are coming to the game, which represents a brand new kind of threat that I imagine is going to effectively counter a majority of the stratagems that we have come to know and love in Helldivers 2 so far. This war is going to see an evolution from all sides in an effort to maintain that upper hand of control, which is great for us players. It's going to go a long way to keeping the game fresh, throwing new challenges and ways to experiment with our buddies when it comes to our loadouts and builds in the game. It feels wild that we're talking about all this content just a mere month after Helldivers launched to the public, especially in the current gaming market, but here we are. And Helldivers is easily the most hyped I have been for a game as of late when it comes to its long-term plan and its ability to stay fresh after a long period of time. However, there's something else, folks. Something that we've learned about Helldivers 2 as a game, what it's capable of, what its developers are doing with it in the background, and how it's going to constantly evolve as a story through both our actions and the developers' actions. Earlier this week, Arrowhead CEO Johan Pilestedt told PC Gamer in an interview that there is in fact a single developer behind the scenes who is pulling the strings on the galactic scale. He told PC Gamer, and I'm quoting, that we have an actual person with the job title of Game Master. His name is Joel, and he takes his job very seriously. We have a lot of systems built in the game where the Game Master has a lot of control over the play experience. It's something that we are continuously evolving based on what's happening in the game, and as part of the roadmap, there are things that we want to keep secret because we want to surprise and delight. The developers have explained that this element, this mechanic, this role of the game's development cycle is very much a major inspiration from Dungeons & Dragons, creating an evolutionary story that is entirely dictated by this ongoing back and forth between player and game master. And this back and forth is apparently occurring at both a whole of Galaxy galaxy level, and even a more granular level as well. Joel has apparently woken up in the middle of the night on multiple occasions to give the enemies a small boost in reinforcements if he thought players were liberating a planet too, let's say, efficiently. It can also get down to a point where the Game Master can start awarding special stratagems mid-mission to spice things up, which apparently we have seen a few times with the aforementioned new content that is coming to the game as well. It's honestly fucking awesome as a huge D&D nerd myself to hear that Helldivers 2 is adopting this style of evolutionary storytelling into its gameplay loop. It's just another one of those situations where what appeared to be a dumb bug and bot third-person horde shooter survival game has come out and blown us away with these extremely important attention to detail content adds and storytelling backbones that allow the developers to make this something truly special. Honestly, this is just continuing to surprise me at every corner, not just as a game, but as an experience. As a communal experience that we're all sort of trudging our way through. And ladies and gentlemen, if this is nothing other than a hint of the kind of content that we are going to be getting with Helldivers 2 in both the near and far future, then we are in for a lot of treats with this game. The fact that the community are not only fighting against the factions of the game, but also against the developers themselves in this galactic war at a level that demands the employment of what is essentially a full-time dungeon master. That speaks to an experience that is going to tell out one hell of a story for Helldivers 2's life cycle. It's going to be a situation where veterans of this game are going to be passing down stories to newcomers about the failure of Malevelon Creek and how we managed to hold back the Terminid until the Illuminate eventually show up. People who weren't here for the game at that point won't have lived it, but there'll be a whole lot of experienced people telling their war stories and speaking to these things and these events that take place in the world over time, and these special moments. It genuinely tells me that Helldivers 2 is going to have the moments that were equivalent to Fortnite when the world was sucked in via the black hole and people couldn't play the game for days. I feel like we're going to have next level events like that in Helldivers 2 through this evolving story. And the fact that there is a man in the chair at that studio pulling these strings and making sure that we've got an incredible story to play out over time, man, this game is something else. But folks, that is all of the Helldivers news that I've got for you guys here today. If you guys enjoyed today's video and want to see more Helldivers content, firstly, like the video, subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on more videos, but also come check out our Twitch channel where we do regular streams for Helldivers 2, including community nights where you guys can come join us in our liberation for Super Earth. It'd be great to have you guys there. Let me know in the comments section down below, guys, what your thoughts are on the proposed new content as well. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.